Good morning. Today is Tuesday, June 10th, and I am here with another tarot casting for your week ahead. Today I'm using the Doorways casting sticker. I debuted the backstory of this in a post recently on my Patreon. So if you're there, you've seen that, and if you're not there, you should go check it out, see what it's about. I'm using the Pocket Out of Hand tarot deck. We are down to less than 65 copies of this left in our shop, and once they're gone, that's it. We are done with Out of Hand. We are not printing any more of the large, the pocket, or any of that. I need to clear the slate for new projects, and Out of Hand is ready to officially retire. Anyway, let's get to this spread, shall we? So there's 3 doorways and all these stairs, and you could use them as any, past, present, future, morning, noon, and night, mind, body, soul. You could use it for any of that. We're going to do a 3-card reading. I'm thinking it's going to be the beginning of the week, the middle of the week, and the end of the week, since we're doing a week ahead. But you know that sometimes the readings morph, so we'll see where it brings us. So let's look at the energy for the beginning, middle, and end. Okay, beginning of the week, we have that 2 of Cups energy. I just put it here. The placements are for regular size, but I'm using pocket. And then we have the World in the middle. In the end, we have that 7 of Cups. I kind of like how they're framed by the doorways. So it looks like at the beginning of the week, we kind of have that leftover energy from last week with 2 of Cups. Maybe there's the partnerships in those contracts that we're still dealing with or shoring up. Or maybe today you're just having a coffee date with a friend. And you know what? That would be lovely. That would be a really good start to the week. Sitting down, talking things over, maybe discussing future plans. The middle of the week, I feel like the world is going to be kind of in everybody's mind and on site and like front and center, right? We could be completing a cycle and, wrapping it up midweek leaves us towards the end to look at the future possibilities of what's going to come. Not everything that we see and hear and feel is real. So there's going to be a lot of illusions. There's going to be a lot of things. I feel like this might be in the news cycle. I know it's a really big week here in the United States. It always reminds me of the proverb that's could be good, could be bad, only time will tell. And depending on what you've been watching, we'll see, right? So the world to me feels like there's this completion of this chapter in our life that's coming up. Could be big. It might not be a final ending. It just is wrapping up whatever we're at right now. And then, like I said, we're going to be at our own proverbial ticket window being like, oh, what prize do I want? And, just be careful what you pick. Careful what you're paying your attentions to. I always feel like all that glitters is not gold. So, just use discernment this weekend when you're consuming feelings, emotions, or maybe you have to choose something and take a little bit longer to make that choice. Lenormand is going to give us the above energy, what's going to help us, make some progress. And then this is going to show us the downward steps here. It's kind of like the ways that we get stuck in old patterns. So we've got the Sun, the Snake, Letter, House, two more. We've got Ship and Gentleman. Okay. So when I see that, like what's going to help us progress, right, is just knowing that there's better news coming from afar. Maybe there's something, a letter you've been waiting for, an email you've been waiting for this week, and it looks like it's going to start out on a good note and things are finally going to get moving, and you're going to get to finally see some real progress about that. And as long as you keep your eye on that prize, we're going to keep the forward momentum going this week. What might be getting you caught in these old cycles is just the deception that is laying maybe around your home. Maybe there's something underfoot that is just this aggressive energy that's kind of affecting your inner sanctuary, and you're focused too much on that instead of how you can break out of it and what decisions that you can make to make you feel better. And that's where, like I said, like the Lenormand is going, okay, well, the news is coming, and it's the good news that you've been waiting for, and you just got to wait a little bit longer. So be careful getting stuck in these old patterns. Like, again, I love that this is right under the Seven of Cups, because it's like not everything that we hear or see or believe is always real. So while you're waiting for the news to come in and waiting for these cycles to complete this week, maybe it's time to just kind of take an aggressive look at what's going to happen within your own home and what you can do to make the steps to get back on track and right out of this, into this better energy, you know. So like I said, the beginning of the week, we start out small. We start out with just having our cups of coffee, and then knowing that something is coming to completion, and then we get to make some choices. And, you know, making those choices can always put us on a better track. So just be careful of the thoughts that keep us looping. And, you know, let me know if this resonates with you. Sometimes it's hard for me doing collective readings to know how it's going to land, and to know, you know, I feel like I ramble, but I always love hearing that if it hit or if it missed, and that's okay, because sometimes it's not always for us, you know. Sometimes the message is just for that one particular person, or sometimes it really taps into the undercurrent. And I do try to stay somewhat neutral in my posts unless I come out and say that this is like affecting the world stage and politics and whatnot. But I can always feel there's sometimes an undertone, and I feel like this one definitely has an undertone. So take with that what you will. And I absolutely will see you here next week with another tarot casting. I hope no matter what you're working on and what you're working towards and the choices that you're making, they're ones that make you feel good inside. And, you know, that's all we can hope for right now. So I will see you here next week. Be sure to like and subscribe to this. It helps other people, you know, tuned into my channel. And also be sure to go check out my Patreon and follow me in all the spaces. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.